Hello everyone, Andrew here, and welcome to today's Game & Watch review, which is Turtle Bridge, the 16th Game & Watch ever released on February 1st, 1981. Now, we have a lot of things to talk about today, not the least of which is we're going to be unboxing it, and then I just have a whole bunch of things that aren't necessarily about the game that I also want to talk about. So hope everyone is excited for a little bit of extra information as well, and, things that might not pertain exclusively to Turtle Bridge, but otherwise, yes, this is a really nice box, much like the Fire one that we looked at previously. Just a very, simple yet design, yet, it really gets the point across and looks excellent on the shelf. And slide the styrofoam out there. It's going to be gentle with all these things, and you can just pop that out from the back. And overall, it is a very, very nice looking Game & Watch, and it actually looks a lot like something else that Nintendo has made at one point. I don't know if it was intentional or if it was inspired by it, but I'll let you ponder that one for just a second. But we also have the instruction manual in here, unfortunately a little bit crumpled up, but I guess that happens to things of this age. But the thing I really want to note before we dive too much into the game, and something that we haven't really talked about to this point, is about the batteries that Game & Watches use. As you can see, for this one, it's two LR43 or SR43 batteries. And that's rather fascinating. You can also actually look at the back of pretty much any Game & Watch, and I mean, this one, it's like, indented into the plastic, and it's white, so it's probably not easy to see, but it will also tell you which batteries it requires, on the back as well. But you're probably, not too familiar with button batteries yourself. You're like, just get those button batteries if they fit. You're good to go, right? But that's actually not the case. So the LR43 ones, I'll probably put a diagram on the screen so that's a little bit easier to see, are actually a little bit flatter than LR44. And some Game & Watches use LR43, and some use LR44. The ones that use LR43 are typically the original widescreen series. Remember, again, it says a widescreen on the bottom of the screen for those ones. And the gold and silver Game & Watches. We've, of course, looked at Fire. And here's a little preview of what we're going to be looking at tomorrow. So those ones all use the thinner LR43 batteries. That's what they're recommended for. You could put LR44 batteries into them. Remember, again, those slightly thicker ones. But it's definitely not a snug fit. You really kind of have to force them in. And if you get them in there and get the battery cover on, it will work just fine typically. But the problem is that sometimes, they're so kind of stuck in there, you might have trouble getting the battery cover off, or you might bend something if they're in there for a long period of time. So it's highly, highly, highly recommended that you get the correct batteries that each Game & Watch asks for. So again, with that gold, silver, and original widescreen series, you want those LR43s, but with other models like the multi-screen models, if we look at the back, here's a book for Mario Brothers, which we actually looked at yesterday. You can see that they do actually ask for those LR44s, and even the new widescreen models, remember the ones that say Nintendo at the bottom here rather than widescreen, those ones actually also take the LR44s. So yeah, if you want to play those older Game & Watches, you're definitely going to want to get the 43s. The problem is that pretty much any store you go to is only going to have 44s. The 43 has been become kind of a rare battery at this point. I think everything runs on 44s these days, so you might have to go online and get them, but just be aware of that you can put the 44s into the Game & Watches that ask for 43s, but they might not so happily fit, and you could potentially damage it. So just be aware of that. But as you can see here, if we just pop this battery cover off, and let me make sure I'm grabbing the actual correct batteries this time. We can just put those in there nicely, and they just fit, pretty snug in there. The slightly thicker ones would be a lot more difficult, but this should just close so nicely like that, because those are the 43s that it asks for, and that is Turtle Bridge. Now, the other thing I want to mention about this Game & Watch is, I was saying, what does it remind you of? Now, I don't know if this was intentional or what, but the color scheme and all that definitely remind me of the NES controller. Of course, the NES controller being something that was made a few years after, but, you get the red, black, and gray. And you kind of even have like, a line pattern going on there. I don't know, it's very reminiscent to me, but I just really, really, really like the design of Turtle Bridge, and it's always reminded me of the NES controller, whether or not that is intentional. But now that we've gone over all those things, hope you enjoyed hearing that. And yeah, if you are someone out there who plans to get your own Game & Watches someday, absolutely no reason, to not look into getting the correct batteries for them, because I'd hate for you to, you know, finally get your hands on one and then it gets damaged or something like that. I probably shouldn't have waited so many reviews to mention that, but I don't know, Turtle Bridge seemed like a good one. It's a pretty simple game, so, you know, that gave us some extra things to talk about, I think. But here we go. I think everyone probably understands how this works by now. You put the batteries in, you get to see all the stuff that's going on, you set the time, and then you press the time button, and it gives you a little bit of a demonstration there. You, of course, also get your alarm and ACL buttons on the top, but let's jump into the game. With the point this time being there are tourists who need to take their baggage from one side of this lake to the other, or rather river to the other, and they for some reason decide to jump across turtles to do that. As you can see, fish start coming up from the water, and when the fish gets too close to a turtle, the turtle dives down and tries to eat it, which of course, if you know you're on top of that turtle at that point, you'll fall into the water and you'll get a miss. So you kind of want to avoid that. I'm not sure why they don't just build like a real bridge, or why they didn't park their plane on the other side of the river. Doesn't seem like the most logical operation they have going on here, but I guess you don't question it. Like, honestly, if you question the realisticness of any Game & Watch, you'll probably find flaws in it. But that's not why we play them. We play them because they're fun. That's the point of video games. Just to be fun. Of course, it helps when, you know, when they have good stories and all that kind of jazz as well. But when it comes to Game & Watches, just don't think too much about it and just have a good time, and you will. Don't overthink things. This Game & Watch game was also featured in Game & Watch Gallery 3, where it's actually a lot of fun. It was one of my favorite games on Game & Watch Gallery 3, where you play as Toad, I believe, hopping across... Oh, no. I realized I made that mistake, but once I pressed right too many times, it was all over. Yeah, you play as Toad, I think, delivering items from one side of a bridge of clouds to the other. And if you stand on the clouds for too long and stuff, they sometimes disappear. Actually, no, there's also, you know, birds and stuff you jump across too. Overall, it's an excellent game. Highly recommend checking out Turtle Bridge on Game & Watch Gallery 3. The modern mode was remade really well. Oh, see, you kind of did like a jump thing there, but now this is getting scary. Oh, that was a perfect jump. That was a perfect jump. Okay. Just gotta be careful here. Of course, you know, that's the thing. It starts out so simple. It's like, how can Turtle Bridge, you know, get any more difficult than it already looks like? But more fish start coming, and the diving really starts to get intense. If you make it to either 200 or 500 points in this Game & Watch, you will have one of your misses removed. That's the thing about Game & Watch, is it's like there's not really extra lives. So if you have all 3 of your lives still, and you get to one of those extra life points, it's not like you get a 4th life or anything like that. So getting to 200 or 500 points with a miss will have it removed. If you have no misses, oh, then the person sometimes goes away like a jerk, and then you kind of just gotta, you know, hang out over here so that you don't fall. But if you get to one of those, you know, miss removal markers, and you don't have any misses, in this game you enter what they call chance time. Not exactly sure why. All I can ever think of is Mario Party when I hear that. But of course, Mario Party was, you know, released many years after this. And in this game, chance time stops fish from appearing for between 20 and 40 seconds. So that just lets you rack up a lot of points there, which is pretty cool. Actually, that's probably a bad idea. If you can find a turtle where like there's not many fish, can you just stand here forever, or will it dive even if, you know, if you stand on it too long, even if there's no fish? I don't know if I want to stand around long enough to find out. Oh, no. I saw the guy come back, and I'm like, all right, let's go. But then, wait a second, no, I totally forgot that the fish was coming. Oh my gosh, seriously, I thought that it would have been back up by the time he landed. Alright, so that's Turtle Bridge, everybody. And of course, Game B is, you know, a more difficult variation of that. Hopefully you learned some new things today. Hopefully you learned about proper Game & Watch care. If you do plan to pick up one from either the Silver, Gold, or Original widescreen series, you're definitely going to want to get those LR43 batteries, or the book also mentioned, what's the other one? SR43. I've never seen SR batteries before. But yeah, LR44 is something you'll find at like every store, and those work in all multi-screen Game & Watches and some of the other varieties as well. And of course the you know, the later new widescreen Game & Watches, as I mentioned. So yeah, keep those things in mind. Hope you enjoyed Turtle Bridge, which we looked at today, and hope you'll join me tomorrow for another Game & Watch review. So thanks, and hope to see you then.